I'm Sakshi Batra, and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the trading action as well as the setup on the day. We will also help you understand when it comes to the strategies that you need to follow on today's basis as well as a positional basis as well. We'll be getting you both technical and fundamental views from our experts. Let's first look at what is going to be the trade setup. Remember, yesterday we did close slightly higher on trade, on the back of very, very range-bound trading session that we actually saw for the markets. Of course, we have seen that the US markets and the Asian markets have also been improving in trend. Both FIs and DIs have also turned net buyers. Sectorally, it was IT sector, consumer durables, oil and gas stocks that were the top performers, while pharma, metals and healthcare sectors experienced some declines. Reliance Industries continued to be a major contributor to the Nifty's gains, even in yesterday's trading session, so thereby adding 1.5 lakh crores in market cap over the last two trading sessions, the biggest two-day gain in 4 years that we've seen from Reliance Industries. There was also trend that towards the end of the session after earnings that moved up to the top spot. In fact, we saw the stock gaining by almost 6% with a big beat in margins coming in. Its EBITDA growing by 37%. So that will be again in focus today. Buying in the defense sector also continued, with most of the stocks rallying about 3 to 10% higher, driven by heightened geopolitical tensions. Now, as we move into today, again, all eyes will be on how things pan out both domestically and between US and India when it comes to the trade talks that are taking place. Remember, we have seen statements coming in from the US that indicate that US could sign a deal with India in the coming days, and India is among the 15 to 18 important trading relationships that they are negotiating with. And of course, we will also look at how President Donald Trump has imposed reciprocal tariffs on trade partners, but that could be seeing some kind of a softening of the stance. In fact, India could be the first country to finalize a bilateral trade agreement with Washington, as far as the US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has informed the media as well. Apart from that, from the US, another space that we are watching out for, since yesterday we were looking at it, it was the auto-related space. Remember, Donald Trump has now signed an executive order to prevent his auto tariffs from stacking on top of each other. So there is some softness that we can actually expect there. Overnight, the Dow Jones climbed by 0.75%, S&P 500 gained by 0.5%, and the Nasdaq also gained by about 0.5% in trades. So the hangover from overnight session in the US was positive. Asia markets were mixed in today's morning session. We did see Japan's Nikkei was up by about 0.2%. Kospi was also up by about 0.2 or 0.3% higher in trade, although we did see Hang Seng down by 0.4% in trade today, and Australia's benchmark ASX 200 added about 0.3%. The GIFT Nifty futures are indicating to a softer opening, 24,343, 0.5% decline from the initial trends that were being shown to us as well. As far as the FPI flows are concerned, for the 10th consecutive session, the FPIs have bought in the Indian stock markets. 2,385 odd crore rupees have poured in from them. We've also seen the DIs buy stocks worth about 1,369 odd crore rupees again. So that's also another positive that we can be looking out for. But remember, we are going to be at a trading session that's right ahead of a trading holiday tomorrow. So we'll see whether there is some sign of a volatility today. Of course, domestically, again, all eyes will be on the cabinet meetings that will take place, both CCE and CCS, that will take place today. As of yesterday, we do know that Prime Minister Narendra Modi held a very high-level meeting and met the chiefs of Indian Armed Forces, along with Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Chief of Defence Staff Anil Chauhan. And reports are suggesting that Prime Minister has actually given the forces a free hand in deciding the mode, the targets and timing of the response to the Pahalgam attacks. So there could be things heating up on the geopolitical front as well. We'll keep an eye out on that too. Today again at 11 o'clock, we will have the Cabinet Committee on Security meeting, and that will be important to really watch out for as far as the steps on the defense securities are concerned now. So we will be looking at that as well. Of course, a whole host of stocks that you need to watch out for. Many earnings are coming in. Big ones that have come in yesterday and will see a reaction today. Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv, both of them reported their earnings, but Bajaj Finance more so. It witnessed a double-digit growth in both profit and NII. It announced 4 bonus shares to its shareholders for every 1 share held on record date. The firm also has approved a 1:1 stock split, where the share of 2 rupees will be split into 2 shares of 1 rupee each. And Bajaj Finance board has also approved a dividend of 44 rupees per share as the final dividend for FY25. This is the highest on record that we've seen. Additionally, it's also announced a special dividend of 12 rupees per share, and as a result of the one-time gain it had in selling some stake in the subsidiary Bajaj Housing Finance through its IPO last year too. So that will be important to watch out for. Apart from this, IndusInd Bank, that's another one that we are watching out for. The CEO Sumant Katpalia has resigned from the bank with immediate effect on the back of discrepancies in the derivatives portfolio. He has said that he has taken a moral responsibility given the various acts of commission and omission that have been brought to his notice. CAT is going to be in focus. It's a mixed set of numbers there. Net profit declining as there was a healthy growth in revenue. The tire makers' net profit dropped by 8.5% year on year. Revenue rose by 14%. Bank Financial Services in Q4 earnings, the net profit has risen by 6%. NII was also up by 34.6%. We'll keep an eye out on that. India Mart Intermesh, that's another one that posted a 49.3% quarter-on-quarter surge in consolidated net profit at 180.6 odd crores. So that will be also in focus as well. And we will also keep an eye out on many other such stocks. But let's now welcome our guest on board. We are now welcoming Mr. Gaurang Shah, who's joining in on the program with us, Senior Vice President of Youth Investments, for sharing his views on the markets and the outlook going forward. Warm welcome to you, Mr. Shah, and thank you so much for taking the time out for this discussion. So much is happening on a day-to-day basis, both macro and micro, that we have to keep an eye out on. First, let's talk about what's happening on the outside of India, and then we can come back home. On the US front, we are actually seeing some positive signs of bilateral trade agreements getting signed with India, a possibility of that where India could be a first one. We were hoping for that to happen, and finally there are some positive signs, some statements coming in on that front. Donald Trump has signed an executive order to lower the auto tariffs, so at least there is some calm on that front as well. Are things finally behind and on the back burner when it comes to worries on the tariff front, sir?
Thank you, Sakshi, for having me on the show. Good morning to you and to everyone. So I think somewhere, as I was mentioning, before 2nd of April and post 2nd of April, we have had discussions on the tariff front, and I had mentioned that wisdom and common sense might prevail upon some of the advisors of the Trump administration, and it will possibly put some sense into what was done, and that doing had done a lot of under in terms of world markets, financial markets. And over the last 1 week, the kind of statements that we've been hearing in and reading into from US, from President Trump, somewhere I have a feeling, this is my personal view, I could be wrong over there, that this tantrums, that tariff-related tantrums that Trump was throwing around in the rest of the world is somewhere settling down. And his own popularity, I was reading some reports yesterday in US because Trump administration completed 100 days in administration. And in 100 days, the popularity has shrunk to 59%. So this is the kind of damage that President Trump has done to his own country, his own economy and his own people, and he's now popularity ranking is down almost 59%. So I think somewhere some self-realization, wisdom has prevailed upon some advisors, and that is the reason why we've seen some softening of stance. I would not be surprised, Sakshi, by the time we see the end of the 90-day period, the so-called window period announced by President Trump, a lot which was done in form of tariffs will be rolled back, and the impact would be barely minimum. Of course, India, and the fact that, Vice President J.D. Vance was visiting first India post the announcement of tariffs speaks for itself. And when he was here, there has been a lot of reports that a lot of work has been done by both the governments, Indian as well as counterpart US government, to iron out the issues in terms of bilateral trade agreement, foreign trade agreement, that is BTAs and the FDAs. There has been a reasonable amount of revision in terms of tariffs by India on US goods and services, and more will follow. And I think by the time we see mid of May or end of May, we should have a considerable amount of progress as far as the BTAs and the FDAs and the signing is concerned. But that is not now my botheration. honestly, Sakshi. The botheration is on the local front, and the unfortunate event in form of Belgaum terror attack last week, absolutely unacceptable. And I think the Honorable Prime Minister yesterday and before that, various meetings that he did with the Chief of Defense Staff, the Tri-Forces chiefs, along with the National Security Advisor, Mr. Doyle, along with the conversation with the Defense Minister, Mr. Rajnath Singh, and of course the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah. Finally, the baton is passed on to the chief of all three armed forces, and it is up to them how, when, what form, and to what extent they have to retaliate to what an absolutely unacceptable terror attack from Pakistan across the border. And I think this has to be decisive now. It is now or never. I feel, there is no point. We suffering these kind of situations at every given interval. It has to be very, very decisive, and I am quite sure, and I'm quite confident about the capabilities in place. Of course, in the bargain, we might have to take a hit. There is no doubt about it, Sakshi. But it is better to put an end to this rather than, at every interval face this kind of situation and innocent lives getting lost. Or, as a matter of fact, violation of ceasefire via firing at the LOC. These are all, things that we've been living in for the last many, many years. And I think now the time has come to put it to rest in a decisive manner. There will be a lot of uncertainty tomorrow. We have an off on account of Labor Day, Maharashtra Day, whatever you want to call it. Friday we come back to markets, and then we have a weekend again. So markets would be choppy, volatile. But again, this is not the first time that we are seeing this kind of situation. We've already had head-to-head wars with Pakistan. We've had multiple terrorist attacks, and the markets have recovered after that. So my sense is that in case if there is an elevated counter attack by India, which I hope it should be, markets are going to correct, and in that case will be a great opportunity to invest from a long-term point of view. If you are a trader, my humble request to all the traders is don't try to expect a lot. Don't try to have greed over everything. Whatever you are getting, try to maximize your profit. Put your profitable stop losses in the system. Don't keep it in your mind, because if something has to eventually happen, you would be caught on the wrong foot in case if you not put your stop losses in the system. And if you're an investor, don't put all your money at one time. Start with staggered buying. I think that's going to be the best approach. And then wait out for the situation to unfold and for the market to gauge the size of impact of the geopolitical situation between India and Pakistan.
Well, there was some technical glitch and I couldn't hear you, Gaurang, very well. But, we will definitely move on to look at how the Nifty is performing at this point. And meanwhile, we'll try and, fix that line for all our viewers to really see at this point in time. The Nifty, if you look at this point in time, is showing a slight uptick as far as the pre-open trend is concerned. We have seen an open above 24,470 odd levels. There was the pre-open tick that happened, even showed us 24,700 for a few seconds, and then it moved down a little bit. But this is a saner level to look at, somewhere in tune with what the Gift Nifty was also indicating. Let's also look at how some of the stocks are performing in trade. Let's look at Bajaj Finance. That's the big one that we are going to be watching out for today after the earnings. That's something that we will look at. And of course, the big bonus and the split announcement that's come in. A flattish opening is what is getting indicated as of now, 9100 odd levels for Bajaj Finance. Let's also look at some of the other aspects. Bajaj Finserv as well, that also came out with the numbers. Let's look at that too. Trent is another one that we will be looking at as well, because yesterday, just before closing, we saw Trent's numbers. And of course, we will be also seeing that spike that happened, whether that continues in trade today as well. 2.7% higher for that one. Let's also look at IndusInd Bank, where there has been some high-level resignation on the back of the discrepancies that the stock has been reeling under. That's something that we will be also watching out for. Slightly lower, 0.8% of a decline for this one as well. Let's also look at some of the other stocks like SIAD, Fed Bank, Financial Services, India Mart, Intermesh. Those are some of the names that you could be watching out for. But Mr. Shah, I also want to come back to you and understand about the change of hearts that FPIs have done now. 10 straight days of buying coming in. Do we, say that probably the worst is behind of FPI sell-off that we had witnessed in the last, 1 year or so, or 6 months or so to be specific? And are things going to go northward with FPI flows now finding their way into the Indian markets?
Well, honestly, they are not going to go and put their money in Pakistan, is it, Sakshi? So I think this is the best place situated. We've had a decent GDP growth rate. We've had two rate cuts. India is the only place in the world which I believe inflation is down, interest rate cuts happening, GDP growth rate steady and it's growing. And more importantly, corporate numbers, Sakshi, which we are witnessing for the fourth quarter. I think we've done reasonably well compared to fourth quarter. Of course, we've not seen much of it. We are not even halfway through as far as the Q4 numbers are concerned. But whatever we've seen in form of Q4 earnings, I think it's very decent, barring, of course, IT. We all know what is uh, troubling IT sector in terms of headwinds. So no surprise over there. And fourth quarter historically is a little bit under the weather for the IT sector. But barring that, I think whatever seen is good. Whatever remains to be seen, I think, I hope, I'm optimistic that will be good. That will be a major trigger to support the markets. And my sense is that FIs, I mean, it's good, that wisdom has prevailed upon them as well, Sakshi, to be very honest, unlike their president of the United States of America. And of course, on the FIs which come from rest of the world, minus America, I think my sense is that this momentum is going to continue. They will also pause, Sakshi. I mean, geopolitical situation is not something that is uh, appreciated and liked by a lot of people. But my personal feeling is that though we might have to bear a little bit of brunt of whatever unfolds across the border, but so be it. That is my personal view. And I think we will emerge as winners not only on this front but also in form of earnings, GDP growth rate, lower interest rates, lower inflation, and of course consumption picking up.
Yes. Mr. Shah, I'll come to the one space that has been, your favorite space and it's finally soaring like never before again. The defense pack, 2 days in a row and a remarkable move across the board is what we have seen. The erstwhile levels that we used to celebrate for the, shipping, that's inching closer to the space. And you have maintained all through this, dip, a consolidation crash that we have seen on the defense stocks, that these are the best times to probably accumulate the stocks in case you have a 5-10 year horizon. And for those who actually listened to you and bought those stocks at those 30%, 40% lower, they may be laughing their way to the banks now. I want to now understand yet again, we are looking at an HAL at 4600, BL continuously soaring, Cochin, Mazicon, GRSE, all of them rallying in trade. Is there still a lot of room from the upside? Can one still go ahead and look at the current levels, or is it only because of the current geopolitical tensions that we are seeing? And again, we could see some consolidation. What's the way to approach this one?
So, Sakshi, my view is that when I gave that advice, and even before that, I had also mentioned that if you invest in defense sector, whether it is private or public, please ensure that you have a 3 year, 5 year kind of time horizon. And
Yes.
that kind of view, why is it necessary, Sakshi? Because it takes a lot of time for the defense related companies to execute the order book, because these equipments or any arsenal related product or any light combat aircraft or a light combat helicopter, for example, for a company like Hindustan Aeronautic, it's not like they can make it in 24, 48 hours or 1 month or 3 months. It takes time because these are all high technology, high precision. It requires a lot of experience to go ahead and make a prototype, get approval, and then a mass scale production. And these companies' order book is swelling by the quarter. This is also a fact which I understand, and I hope I'm right on that. And if I'm not, then you can correct me, Sakshi. This is one sector which is insulated from the tariff, tantrums and the sword that is hanging. This is one sector which will eventually benefit with the geopolitical situation. Not only on the domestic market is a huge opportunity, export market also happens to be a huge opportunity. So we continue to maintain a positive view on the defense sector. And I will again reiterate what I've said. Don't invest with a view of 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, because you will end up losing the longer time frame, better profit, better returns if you do take a short term call. I think 3 years, 5 years is a decent time frame. Uh, and I'll also go to the extent to say that if you don't need money, don't think of selling it, pass it on to the next generation.
Wonderful piece of advice there. Think of long term when you look at defense. Do not look at short term at all. And in case you can, then hold it for the next generation. This is one space that can actually create, wealth for your generations as well. So that's something that is something that all of our viewers should definitely note down. We look at a few more stocks and specific earnings that have come in to also focus on how do we look at those. Bajaj Finance, that's the big one that we are looking at. Net profit uptick of 16%, 4480 odd crore rupees of a profit. Net interest income improved by 22%. Both the GNPA and the net NPA have seen an improvement again. What we've also seen is that huge dividends being paid by the company, and the big two news points are the split in the shares of 1:2 ratio and a bonus of 4 bonus shares for every one held for Bajaj Finance. What does it mean for an average retail investor, who may be looking at it afresh now? The stock is now down 2.7% after the pre-open trade settled.
So it's party all the time, right? For Bajaj Finance and of course the shareholders, Sakshi, with the kind of numbers they have delivered and the kind of reward that they have given to the stakeholders. So undoubtedly, again, prudent to give a disclosure. We have coverage, and Sakshi, this was the once large cap NBFC stock,
Yes,
which has given you an all-time lifetime high, even when the markets were in a correction mode. You'd
correct.
see it from October last year till current date, and the performance of index and performance of Bajaj Finance, or likewise any other large cap company in the related sector. So we continue to have a positive coverage, and you need to give us time because numbers were out yesterday. My team might need a little bit more time to rework on the targets, but we are maintaining a positive view. And again, it's not a recommendation, but Bajaj Finserv also was
Yeah.
a good performer in terms of the delivery of number. Again, I'll repeat, this is not a recommendation, but this also happens to be one of the greatest beneficiary. And my sense is that banking, NBFCs, BFSI segment is going to perform quite well for quite some time.
Okay, so a positive outlook on both Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv at this point in time. In fact, let's also welcome Kiran, who's joining in on the program with us. Kiran Jani is with us on the program. He's the head of technical research at Jainam Broking. Kiran, warm welcome. Good morning to you. We were discussing the two big names that we have to, Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv. What are you looking at on these two spaces? Big news flows and, of course, earnings trigger.
So of course, after news, there is a price adjustment and everything will happen. So we would like to comment on Bajaj Finserv. If you look at the Bajaj Finserv, there is a gap down opening, but overall chart pattern is very much promising. Overall, there is a rounding bottom pattern. It's a continuous bullish pattern. Stock price is trading above its all important moving averages. So any tips towards 2000 to 1950, it's a great opportunity to enter in this particular stock. So today, whatever the gap down is opening, it can be the opportunity. Keep a very strict stop loss below 950, and you can accumulate Bajaj Finserv for sure.
Okay, got that. We're just about 1 minute away from, opening of the markets today, but we'll also focus on some other aspects just before the markets open. Gaurang, I have to ask you now, when it comes to banks and financials, you do maintain a positive stance. Defense, you maintain a positive stance. Is there still a very cautious space that you are staying away from in the markets and the recovery that we are seeing?
Well, again, it depends upon what kind of time horizon you have, Sakshi. If you ask me, I wouldn't say I would stay away, but I would be a little bit cautious. And the
Okay.
cautious is going to be on oil and gas. Cautious is going to be
Okay.
on metals to a certain extent.
Mm.
Then purely because of the headwinds, volatile prices in terms of crude oil, though we are down from $90 to $65 on Brent, but we need to see a little bit more downside to have that comfort zone as far as oil marketing, oil exploration companies are concerned. Metals, because of one side tariff related overhang, other side China related news flows, which plays a very crucial and a pivot role in terms of guiding the direction for the metal pack. I think these are the pocket, but otherwise, I think I remain extremely positive on IT, autos, banking, pharma, cement, cap goods engineering, power generation, infrastructure. I would rather buy any kind of downside in a selective manner, in parts, and have a decent portfolio. My only worry is that near-term headwinds are challenging and possibly could make us consolidate at a lower level for some time.
Okay, got that. The markets have opened, so let's focus on that. Tad on the lower side for the Nifty and the Nifty Bank. Slightly on a softer side, 0.2% of a decline, both for the Nifty and the Nifty Bank right at open, and of course the Sensex as well. Mid caps absolutely flat in trade. IT stocks flat in trade. You're also seeing the advances of 792 versus declines of 702. Even Stevens there. Let's look at some of the other sectors. Metals are down 0.4%. FMCG is absolutely flat with the negative bias at 56,451. Small caps and mid caps both slightly down in trade, of course, 0.3% and 0.5% decline for the small caps. So what garnered strength is also being given up. You can see only the pharma space. Some spaces that Gaurang just mentioned, like capital goods, that's also up and about. Real estate, PSU stocks, some gains coming in on that front, and financials also holding up a tad bit, but it's a mixed trend that you're looking at. Autos are down, PSU banks are down. You can see the Nifty Bank is also down. Capital goods are down in trade at this point, and of course the broader markets. Top losers on the Nifty: Bajaj Finance 3.5% lower, Bajaj Finserv about 2.5% lower. Bajaj Finserv now 4.7% lower, and Trent now also down in trade. Tata Motors, IndusInd Bank, and SBI are the other top losers on the Nifty today as we open the trade on a back foot. But on the gaining side, you have Dr. Reddy's up 1%, Sun Pharma up about 1%, BEL that continues to rally further. Third day of gains coming in strong. Bharti Airtel, HDFC Bank, and L&T among those top movers. Let's also pull up Reliance Industries to see, because last 2 days we've seen 1.5 lakh crore rupees of market cap being added because of the gains that we've seen on Reliance Industries. So we'll pull up that as well to see 0.5% of a decline today. So some gains being left out. You can see Power Grid, L&T, Cipla among the top movers. Even some IT names like Infosys, HCL Tech, TCS, that's also up and about, but a large part is still on the softer side. SEAT on the earnings front is down by 0.7% post-earnings, even though Q4 has been better than the estimates. You can see a slight decline on that front. Prestige Estates, there's a big project that they have launched in Delhi NCR in Indirapuram of 9,000 odd crores, and therefore you can see some uptick on that real estate player. F&O space, you can see BSC now down today, Eternal down by 2%, Volta is also correcting by about 2% in the F&O space as of now. Kiran, to you, how are you looking at the opening today?
See, overall, if we discuss about the Nifty and Bank Nifty, definitely the opening is not that we were expecting because the Gift Nifty was showing us 120 points gap down, but market is able to open flat, and now it is trading 50 points down only. Now look at the overall chart pattern. Definitely 24,400, 24,500 going to be a cluster resistance. Today we have a monthly expiry also. So overall, if we are looking the chart pattern, definitely weekly Nifty expiry. If you look at the call writers are very much heavily on 24,400, 24,500. So that would be a cluster resistance. If that cross, then we can see some further upswing. Otherwise, there are chances we can see some downfall towards 24,200 to 24,100, and we are expecting if any dips towards 24,100 to 200, that is a great opportunity to go long on the Nifty. So we are not giving any short view. If you are not comfortable in the market because of the some geopolitical tension domestically, then you can book profit, keep a strict stop loss of 24,000, and for the fresh buy, wait for any dips. So at current market price, we are not recommending to go long. But any dips towards 24,200, 24,100 go long. We are expecting Nifty to again retest is 24,800 to 24,900 by next week or maybe by month end. So overall, we are bullish. Keep buying on dip and with a strict stop loss of 24,000. Similarly, Bank Nifty has a very good support of 54,200. If it is not broken down, then we can expect some price reversal again towards 56,000 to 56,500. So here also any dips towards 55,000 to 55,100, it's a great opportunity. Keep a very strict stop loss or a positional stop loss of 54,500, and you can expect price target of 56,500 for sure. So both indices, buy on this would be the preferred strategy.
Okay. Gaurang, coming back to Bajaj Finance and Bajaj Finserv for a bit, because we are seeing those initial reactions over a 5% cut on Bajaj Finance now at 8,615. What do you think this dampener is due to? Is it because of the announcement of bonus, or is it because of the weak FY26 guidance that the company has given?
I think it's a knee-jerk reaction, to be very honest. I don't think I would read too much into it, Sakshi. And of course, not to forget the sentiments in the market. So, and it has always been like this, whenever whether the numbers are good or bad, market does rally before the numbers are delivered, and then post the numbers announcement, I think the market goes in for some kind of, the stock, beg your pardon, goes in for some kind of correction.
And would you buy at these levels as well?
Well, of course I would. Why wouldn't I? I mean, but the only thing is, don't go at all out, buy in a phased out manner.
Buy in a phased out manner. That will be the best, point at this point in time. Okay, Kiran, to you, IndusInd Bank, softer in space, and we are seeing some exits on the top level as well. How would you look at IndusInd Bank, because it was recovering over the last few days? Today, again, after that news, there is a cut on that one. Would you still stay away?
Yes, definitely we will stay away. So recently we bought IndusInd Bank at lower level, and luckily or fortunately we booked profit somewhere around 800. After that it rallied towards 900, but we are not in that rally particularly. Now after this news, we are seeing that there is a gap down opening. Stock is below 50 days moving average also. But there is a one positive point is that the day IndusInd Bank given a 20% correction from 800 to 649 level, that particular day the high was 810. So if today market any which ways consider or market any which ways hold that particular day's high, then there are chances we can see some reversal. So as of now, whoever holding this particular stock, keep a very strict stop loss of 800 or maybe 810. If price is going below that, then we can expect some price correction. Otherwise, there are chances we can again see 860, 900 kind of level. But as of now, because of this news, we are asking our clients to stay away. If anyone holding, keep a strict stop loss of 800.
Okay, fair point. We'll keep an eye out on that. Gaurang, coming to you on the auto pack, we've seen a lot of news over the last few days. We haven't asked you on M&M, SML, Isuzu deal that happened and how things are progressing. We just talked about how Trump tariffs are going to go softer on auto space as well. Where are you keeping your focus now on the auto pack?
So I think TVS Motors has been a star performer and the numbers are also good. So we have a diversified portfolio as far as autos is concerned: two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, commercial vehicle, tractor, agri equipments, EVs, dedicated players like Electra, Green Tech, and of course there's the American auto manufacturers have gone and appealed to the intelligent God's answer to the face of us, Mr. Trump, not to go ahead with what he's planning to do with the auto industry, that is the tariff. So there has been some respite, and I think there are a lot of new launches that have been lined up, Sakshi, not only for whatever remains in calendar 2025, but also going into the next calendar year 2026. And my sense is that near-term headwinds would be there, as mentioned by Mr. Bhargava of Maruti Suzuki. But I think that's a short to medium-term overhang.
That's a short to medium-term overhang as well. Okay, let's also talk a little bit about Gaurang, Akshay Tritiya. So, greetings there for you and for your loved ones there. We have been talking so much about gold that we just forgot to talk about it on the most important occasion. And of course, the prices have ebbed a little lower from that 1 lakh mark. So probably people will be encouraged to go out there and buy that gold. What are you suggesting to investors now at this point in time with this cool off coming in?
Well, so greetings and good wishes to you and to everyone of BTTV on Akshaya Tirthya. So, I mean, no surprises. Anything that goes up has to come down momentarily, and there is a little bit of
Yeah.
consolidation. But remain optimistic. I think the outlook for gold is very, very clear. Uh, and like I mentioned, of course, the government has stopped issuing government sovereign gold bonds because of the issues that they have to deal with. But you have gold ETFs, you have gold dedicated mutual funds, and of course, eventually you have physical gold. My only request is don't go and buy jewelry unless you want to give it to your loved ones. If you want an investment perspective, then I think you have small coins or you have guineas in small denomination or large or mid denomination, which you can go and invest in. That is only because of the purity, Sakshi. Because when you go and buy jewelry, purity is like getting sacrificed.
Absolutely. Kiran, what about you? How are you making use of this day on gold? 95,146 on the Nifty, on the MCX for MCX gold at this point. There's a softer, opening that we've had about half odd percent downtick today. That gives any confidence to buy?
See, honestly speaking, when there is a spirituality or a culture is come, generally we don't consider price over there. So yes, definitely it's an auspicious. Definitely everyone should buy gold. Now, coming to whether it is to buy physical gold or whether it is buy digital gold, it's depend on the use. And generally, being in Indian, we whatever gold we are buying, we never sell it. So it is there is no meaning of buying physical, because if you are buying physical, then there is a storage cost and everything has to be in consideration. If it is just an investment and you want to keep a gold as a safety point of view that you are holding gold, then as Gaurang sir said, you can definitely go with the gold bees or maybe gold ETF. And we used to suggest our clients that if you are doing SIP, say for example you are doing 10,000 rupees of SIP, at least 10%, 20% you can do SIP in gold. There are so many gold SIPs also available. So it is a fairly available gold SIP, maybe gold ETF. So you can, if you don't have any particular use for your children's and anywhere, then gold SIP would be the better option for today.
Okay, fair point. So I hope everybody has noted all that down from both Gaurang and Kiran, the way you have to approach gold today on Akshaya Tritiya. But, one more stock that I mentioned, but we have to ask Gaurang that Reliance Industries, the way it's rallied over the last 2 days, does it give you confidence that probably for FY26 it could be a big re-rating candidate? I mean, what we've seen in the past is a long haul consolidation. Finally, are things moving up?
Well, so numbers were pretty good, wasn't it, Sakshi? So,
Yes.
and of course, like prudent to give a disclaimer first, Sakshi, we do have positive coverage, and we've
Yes.
been maintaining that for a pretty long period of time. And a lot of upgrades have happened yesterday morning when we saw pre-market opening post the numbers were announced. Even on Monday, we saw a lot of positive commentary for Reliance Industries. So my sense is that, yeah, I mean, it is possibly positioning itself to break out of that restriction headwind zone and then get into a more positive trajectory. But it'll take time. It's one of the large cap having a larger weightage in the index and so forth. Because of the near term issues, there could be some amount of range bound movement, but long term, again, we do have a buy recommendation on Reliance Industries.
We do have a buy recommendation. Okay, Gaurang, we'll leave you at that. Thank you so much for being
Thank
with us
you.
on the show and helping us with your insights. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much and hope you have a
Thank
great
you.
time.
Thank you, Sakshi. All the best, Sakshi. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Kiran, we'll continue our conversation with you. First 15 minutes of a candle is formed now. What is it that stands out for you and what would you really look at? Remember, tomorrow is a holiday again, so today's trend will have to be important to be seen because we don't know what will happen tonight and then tomorrow, both on global and domestic front, because that will have to be seen too.
So overall market, as we discussed, buy on dip would be the preferred strategy. There are a few sector which are panning out from bottom level and is showing a very good sign of reversal. There is a pharma is there, IT is there, FMCG is there. So this selective counter, definitely we would like to go long, and there is uncertainty is there. Tomorrow we're going to have a holiday for the trading days, and if anything happens, so yes, cautious have to be. We have to be cautious at least. So suggestion would be like if you are holding any portfolio, you can buy puts at the lower level, or maybe you can buy Nifty puts to secure and to hedge your portfolio. Be cautious and don't chase any kind of a gap of opening. And selective sector, you can definitely go long. So as I mentioned, that FMCG is there, IT is there, where we are finding some good bets, and also auto and auto ancillaries, where again you can buy a good stocks.
Okay. Kiran, also help us understand what you're doing with the new age stocks like Eternal, Zomato, for instance. It's been volatile of late, but is it giving us a time to enter or is it giving us a time to exit?
So look at Zomato, Swiggy, those particular stock are now trading into the trading at very good level, definitely. So one should can go long at current market price. If you look at overall chart pattern, it is a very good chart pattern. Double bottom pattern breakout is there on Zomato. Eternal is the new name. One can go definitely long at current market price. Keep a very strict stop loss below 220. If 220 level is not broken down, then you can expect price target of 245 to 60 in upcoming times. So Zomato looks very much promising. Another stock, Swiggy, you also look into the consideration. No doubt stock price is trading at very much lower level. There is a very strong support of 17, 13, 20. If stock price breaking that level, then we can expect particular corrections in Swiggy. But looking at overall scenario and overall the summer vacation theme and everything, one can buy contrary. This is a very risky call for the Swiggy for sure. So one can go contra long on Swiggy at current market price. Keep a stick stop loss below 300. If 300 is not broken down, then you can expect 400 kind of a target in short term. So Swiggy with the stop loss of 300, it is again I'm telling you risky, but worth taking.
Okay, let's look at some of the other aspects. Pharma, which is rallying in trade. Kiran, how would you look at pharma?
Pharma, as I discussed, that FMCG, pharma, and IT looks very much promising at current market price. So yes, you can go long on pharma also. In pharma, Divi's Laboratory is a preferred pick at current market price. If you look at the Divi's Laboratory, there is a long-term chart pattern is breakout. 6100 is the steep resistance. If stock price keeps and sustain above that, then there are chances we can expect some price appreciation like 6300 kind of a level. So at current market price, one can go long on Divi's Laboratory. Keep a stick stop loss today's low, and for the price target of 63, 200. Another stock which we are liking, that is in Sun Pharma. Sun Pharma is also double bottom pattern breakout candidate. Stock price is above the momentum indicator of stock price is above 60 days moving on 60. It's a bullish zone. Overall, there is a double bottom pattern breakout. One can go long with the strict stop loss of 1780, and we can expect price target of 1900 for sure. So Sun Pharma, Davis Laboratory look very much promising. Definitely one can go long.
Okay, Divis Laboratories and Sun Pharma, those are the two picks that are looking good as far as the pharma stocks are concerned. Tell us now on some of the other aspects. Let's discuss IT, which was standing out yesterday. Kiran, what are you making of the IT pack? Most of the heavyweight earnings are now out. Of course, all the focus will be on the mid-cap IT names. There has been a mixed trend. KPIT delivered good. Tata Tech, there was disappointment. But how are you looking at the overall IT basket?
The overall IT basket, I would like to comment on Nifty IT index. First of all, if you look at the Nifty IT index, it is sustaining about 36,000. Now, previously, when the price correction started, 36,000 was a very good support, and indices has found support at 36,000 and bounced back to 39,000 also. Now, again, it is sustaining about 36,000. So there are chances we can see 38, 39,000 rally on Nifty IT. Now, during this rally, mid cap and large cap, both IT can contribute. So overall, if you look at Tech Mahindra, it's look very much promising. Persistent looks very much promising. On large cap front, Infosys look very much promising. So you can have a mix of stock as a portfolio holding, and you can go long on IT rather than going long on only particular large cap or mid cap IT. We would like to create a portfolio. Again, I'm repeating, Tech Mahindra looks very much good, very much promising. Persistent, Infosys. So this kind of a stock definitely you can go long.
Okay, let's discuss the retail space, a lot of interesting points there that we have seen, Kiran. Trent came out with the numbers yesterday. Strong set of numbers coming in from there. Vishal Mega Mart has come out with the numbers. V-Mart is probably going to be discussing about a bonus split there, so that will also be in focus. So the retail space is coming back in flavor with a lot of news flow and earnings as well. What is looking positive in the retail space? Trent, Vishal Mega Mart, V-Mart, or anything else?
So Aditya Birla Fashion looks very much promising at current market price. If you look at Trend, if you look at Vishal Mega Mart, if you look at D-Mart, all has given a very good return. But during that time, Aditya Birla was in a very much downtrend. Now it is coming out of that downtrend. The falling channel is breakout. Now stock price is also sustaining about its 100 days moving average. So the strong positioning is happening on Aditya Birla. At current market price, one can go long with the strict stop loss of 250, and you can expect price target of 300 kind of in upcoming time. So Aditya Birla Fashion look very much promising at current market price.
Okay, let's also focus on some of the other aspects then in the markets. What else can we look at? There is a strong recovery from the lows of the day on the Nifty also. Now in green, about 70 odd points of a recovery can be seen on the Nifty. Even Sensex is now recovered into the green now. Mid caps have also pulled up from the day's low. Again, there is almost about a 400 point of a recovery. There is some uptick that's coming in across the markets. Kiran, does it give you any confidence?
Yes, definitely. As we discussed in earlier commentary also, that we are liking to go long at dips. So definitely it is giving us in confidence. But again, we are not holistically across all sectors and every stock will perform. We have to be very much selective on sector and very much selective on the stock wise. And overall chart pattern looks very much promising on Nifty and Bank Nifty. Time corrections can be there. We can be stuck in some of the range like 24,200 to 24,800. We may not see some furious price action, which we already have been seeing. Within this range, volatility will be there. But overall, the chart says that buy on dips would be the preferred strategy.
Okay, Kiran, real estate, let's discuss that also in focus now. Prestige, we marked out for the news flow that there is. Godrej Properties is up by about 3.5%. The entire space seems to be coming back in focus yet again. What would your preferred and safer bets be in the real estate pack?
So when we discuss about real estate, it's a very high beta counters, and there is nothing called like a very safe bet. But if you look at the overall real estate sector, and if you look at the micro data, inflation is under control. Or RBI already given 2 rate cuts, so the tailwinds supposed to be playing real estate for sure. So large scale real estate look very much promising. Overall realities at current market price, if you look at the price chart, stock price is sustaining about 20 and 50 days moving average. Momentum indicator is also in neutral zone with positive divergence. So here on overall reality, you can go long at current market price, keep a strict stop loss below 1580, and you can expect price target of 1700 in short time. Another stock which we are liking, that is a DLF. Since last 3 days, DLF continuously trading into the heart of high bottom pattern. Now yet again, stock price is above its 20 and 50 days moving average. So you can go long on DLF also at current market price. Keep a strict stop loss of 650, and we can expect price target of 720, 730 in upcoming time. So both are positional call, Obero and DLF. You can go long.
Fair point. Okay, Kiran, we'll leave you at that. Thank you so much for being with us on the morning edition of Market Today and helping all our viewers really navigate through the opportunities that are being seen. Flattish to a positive bias on the Nifty. Now we are at 24,352. Let's see how things pan out. Remember, viewers, we are going to be really seeing a lot of news flow coming in, and that will also be impacting the markets. Tomorrow, it's a market holiday on account of Maharashtra Day. So keep an eye out on all the levels that Kiran has really marked out for you and the strategies that he has marked out for you on the markets front. We'll leave you at that, but do stay tuned throughout the course of the day. There are interesting conversations that we will have on markets, on Akshaya Tritiya, on gold strategies. We're going to be having a special show at 1 p.m. So come back for that. And of course, 12 noon is when we will answer all your stock related queries on daily calls. Stay tuned for that too. Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra and this is the earnings special conversation. Our focus will be on PNB Housing Finance that's reported its stellar numbers, and the stock is also seen an upper circuit today post the